I made a video a couple of days ago. I think I was dealing with Dalai Lama. He's a Tibet monk who asked a young boy to perform fellatio on his tongue. And in this video, I was arguing that there are many spiritual leaders who live like rock stars, selling New Age philosophy, pretending that they're humble and they live a life of sacrifice, yet they travel in private jets while ripping off the poor. What's interesting is that a comment that was left was that, oh, I'm not a Christian because if I was a Christian, I would be woke. Jesus was woke, and he was into this cancel culture. He would have heavily supported wokeism, and he would have heavily supported cancel culture. So I said, okay, let me look at it in each component. These people, these liberals, they were using Jesus as an excuse in order to get the church to bend, to get the church to bow down to the liberal agenda. Most churches have fallen. A lot of churches now are for same-sex marriage. A lot of churches now are into all this cancel culture, meaning if a narrative does not work for you, scrub it out. In other words, you will never know what truth is, because if truth offends you, all you have to do is erase it from the history books. They claim this is what Jesus represented: cancel culture, wokeism. If you look at the woke culture, there's a civil war. The LGBTQ, have within them internal struggles. For instance, transgendered are at war with biological women. Biological women who are feminist are at war with trans women. They try to create this picture of heaven on earth, of this great satanic global love of tolerance and acceptance. Yet people are squabbling and squibbling over language and over pronouns. What is offensive to one person isn't to another. And in the world, in the end, you begin to realize this is nothing more than a satanic deception, end times deception. Because no love comes from it. Only fakes, superficial love. However, what I find interesting is that they say, oh, love, love. And they latch onto that word. If you're a Christian, you believe in love. And that's it. They go into meltdown. It's almost like zombies. That's the only word they come up with: love, love, love. Like a love vibration. Then you ask them the question, what was the context? What was the context? Because there's more hate in the liberal world than anybody else. There's more hate in liberalism and the LGBTQ than you will find anywhere. Yet somehow they convince you that they have the love of God in them. They convince you that they are the right way for people to go on because they're full of tolerance and love vibration. Really? Is that the reason why racism is rampant in the LGBTQ world? Yet white heterosexuals are not aware of this. White Christians don't know about this because they sell you the lie that this is the road to go on. Become like them. And this is the illusion that they are selling. So we have to explore each component. What do they mean? Love. What their definition is, you have no critique of sin or wrongdoings. In other words, it doesn't matter what a person does. In other words, do you know that leftism and left-hand path actually goes hand with Satanism? Satanism is not right-wing. Satanism is actually left-wing. Do as thou wilt. The Aleister Crowley, who's a Satanist, you know, he came up with these left-wing and leftist and left-hand path, which means total destruction, total anarchy. That's what leftist means. That's what the left-hand path means, going off the path. So you have to ask them the question, what do they mean then? If they're off the path, if they're not with God, then what kind of love are they promoting? Whose love are they really in touch with? Because it cannot be a love of purity. It cannot be a love of divinity. So somebody is deceiving them. Somebody's telling them this is the route you want to go on. Somebody's telling them, someone's given the same apple to Eve to deceive these gullible, liberal agenda. I've looked throughout the scriptures, throughout the Bible, notably the New Testament, because whenever they talk about the New Testament, Jesus is about love, it's about love. And they totally ignore Romans. They're not interested in Jesus Christ's friends, his disciples. They're not interested in Corinthians. Where fornication, cheating, sensual talks are condemned. They totally ignore all that. In other words, they fingerpick a text. And if they think that it's going to somehow hoodwink the whole of Christendom, then they will use it. And they have been doing it for a while. Jesus is love. And nobody thinks about it. You ask them, who is Jesus? Who is he? Not one Christian has ever put them in get them on a track. Okay, who is Jesus? Who is he? They've never done that. Because, to be honest, these liberals don't care. They don't care. They're just using a quote, love one another. They're using that for their own context to mean tolerate one another. Don't think. Cancel culture. Don't think. Do you remember when Black Lives Matter went round attacking white Christians in restaurants, asking them, do you believe in Jesus? Do you remember? Well, that's Jesus would approve. He would have approved of these Black Lives Matter Marxists going around attacking white Christians, families having their dinner. Do you believe in Jesus? They went satanic. They went crazy. And apparently, if I'm a good Christian, I should endorse that kind of behavior. After all is fair as long as you endorse the liberalism, you endorse wokeism. You don't care how they do it, violence, terrorism. They don't care how they do it. This is the new salvation. This is the new gospel, the satanic gospel. And a lot of churches are buying into it. And you ask them, who's Jesus? Even the churches today, and they don't even know. Because they have a philosophy, they have a form of godliness, but denying the very power thereof. A lot of churches, they play Christianity. They're all about money now. They're all about blessings. That's all they care about is money. You know, you ask them, who is Jesus? And they can't tell you. And the reason being, they've been brainwashed by the liberal agenda. They've been brainwashed by this Marxism. So, you have to ask them the question. When they say to you, well, he was love, you ask them, what do you mean? And why? What was the context? And who was he? What was his purpose? They're not interested, because they're not interested in changing their lives. They're interested in changing your life for their agenda, their satanic agenda. What they're giving you is a satanic gospel. That's what they're giving you. The satanic good news, all wrapped up in cotton bud, as if it's beautiful. And you're falling for it. Oh, if you love me, you will tolerate me. No matter what I do, no matter what I do, tolerate me. And just look at the world now. A politician can't even tell you what's a woman. This is the state the world is in. What is a woman? You got your average person and you ask, are you a woman? Define a woman. The first they're thinking is, who am I going to offend? Forget about biology. Forget about truth. Who am I going to offend? And as a result, you can't get any common sense, not even out of politicians. And son, these are people you're trusting with your life, where you can't even ask an Oxford-educated, Cambridge-educated politician, prime minister, what is a woman? And they refuse to answer. This is some serious end times confusion. And the worst thing about it is, you ask your pastor, what is a woman? And see if they can answer it. Because they're eating from the same trough of deception. The same trough. It's all about being lukewarm. It's all about tolerance and compromising the truth. It's all about surviving no matter what. What a dirty world we're living in.